Hi everyone, I am doing a video update on Roman. I just thought it would be really easy to talk better than writing everything down on Facebook. And then I also was thinking about the online hydrocephalus communities that I have joined since I last posted, and how much other parents and people who have hydrocephalus have helped us and our family so much that I thought, why not document our experiences, share our stories, Roman stories, and if it could reach someone that might need to hear what we have went through, it would be worth it, and that we could help, pay back the community a little bit. Or if someone's looking just for another hydrocephalus parent friend, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So Roman had his MRI. The last time we updated Facebook, we were waiting 2 months to have a repeat MRI, and it was stable. So that actually is pretty good news. There was a portion of me that was hoping that it would be completely smaller and that this was a misdiagnosis and we wouldn't need surgery and we can move forward with our lives, but that was not the case. But the great news is that it was stable. There was no more fluid buildup in his brain, and that we really feel that there was no harm in waiting, and that gave us an opportunity to really do a lot of research, reach out to a lot of other parents, and feel confident in our decisions. So when we left our neurosurgeon in Cleveland's office with the decision to wait 2 months, they did recommend us maybe getting a third opinion, because the cause of Roman's hydrocephalus and the type of hydrocephalus was not completely sure of. So we traveled down to Cincinnati Children's Hospital. It's the #2 children's hospital, and specifically in neurosurgery in the nation. So we just kept driving down the highway, and we were at another top hospital in the world in a few hours. And that neurosurgeon told us that Roman looked great clinically, but he didn't care. That did not matter to this neurosurgeon. He said that the MRI spoke volumes. It was hydrocephalus. He looked back at growth charts of Roman's head circumference, and he felt that he could see hydrocephalus present since 4 months old. He also stated that he didn't feel Roman's case would be successful for an endoscopic third ventriculostomy, which is what we were scheduled for in Cleveland on August 21st, and ended up canceling and waiting. He stated that, he didn't know if Roman had any current permanent brain damage, and that's, what Cleveland told us too. That's a really hard pill to swallow, and it's hard to even talk about it still, as 100 times I've said this to people. But when someone tells you they don't know the long-term outcomes of your child, or just because they're doing so well now that they will continue to do so well, it was really sad to me. But none of our futures are really known, and I try to look at that and say that's unfair to get so upset about, because none of us really know what tomorrow's going to bring. So we just did not really want to hear that, but it was good that we did, and I'm glad that he showed his concern for us. He said that he wouldn't say that trying an ETV would be completely crazy, but he felt that at the end of the day Roman would need a shunt, and we might have put him through 2 brain surgeries pretty much back to back, when the shunt could just be done and over with. For us, staying away from a shunt is a priority if we can. It is a life-saving device. Many children with hydrocephalus live with a shunt, and that has been the only treatment, since the 1950s, until the endoscopic third ventriculostomy was starting to be done about 17 years ago, I think. But not terribly, both of these things haven't been done terribly long, and hydrocephalus was a death sentence prior to the 1950s. So fortunate to have that. But what happens is when a child has hydrocephalus, it could be all different types of severity. Some children need emergency treatment right away, that there's pressure on the brain. Roman seems to be a slower process, and all of the neurosurgeons that we've seen have agreed on that. And when it's a slower process, you would think, putting the shunt in, if it malfunctions or if he gets an infection or it breaks, that or clogs, because those are the most common complications of shunts, you know, we could just get them to surgery and get it changed out, or that it wouldn't be so bad. But it is a life-threatening emergency. The patient has to get to the hospital within an hour's time to get a revision. And I just have a hard time relying on a man-made medical device for my child's life for the rest of his life and causing him to be dependent on a shunt. But that may be our reality, and I am happy that there are shunts, but at the same time I share this so people understand why we are trying and fighting so hard for the endoscopic procedure. So we went home. This was the day before Roman's first birthday. I'm not sure if I said that or not. We got home around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning on Roman's birthday after visiting with some friends, and we were supposed to stay and hang out and get our kids together, but we were just so sad and so helpless, I feel like, or discouraged. But then we started doing a bunch of research, and that's how I got really involved in these online groups and came across a doctor that was recommended by a lot of people in the hydrocephalus community, and his name is Dr. Worf, and he's based out of Boston Children's. Boston Children's is the #1 pediatric hospital and in pediatric neurosurgery in the nation. And, you know, when you have these top 10 hospitals, right, you know, Columbus Children's and Cincinnati Children's Hospital are top 10 children's hospitals in the nation. You know, we even talked to one of my friends whose child has a very serious illness, and I just admire her strength and the mother that she is. And she had to travel to Boston Children's, and we discussed, like, you know, it's great, but if you could stay at home, why wouldn't you? Because you have your support there and your family, and you have, you know, everything right there in your home. And then also the commuting time. I mean, I want to give Roman a normal childhood, you know, everything. What is normal? Who is normal? Like, no one, right? But, like, I guess the best word would be happy childhood. I don't want this to be his life, even though that's where we are right now, but I'm trying to move forward. And, you know, getting on planes and trains and automobiles, it takes away from our play dates and the things that we like to do. So we kind of decided not to do that. But then this name kept popping up in the hydrocephalus community, and we decided to get a consultation in Boston, and we did it all through online, which I try to make another video on that, because they do second consultations online where you do not have to go in person, and then you could choose to either share the recommendations with the physician you're seeing, use them for your own decisions, or you can go to Boston and have a change of care. So that was absolutely amazing. Dr. Worf reviewed our case and gave us so much more information than we received. I felt like we finally had the missing puzzle pieces that we needed to feel confident in our choices. He did not have all of the answers, and so he said that Roman's case, he believes the hydrocephalus can be caused by Dandy Walker variant or a Blake's pouch cyst. And some of the previous neurosurgeons we saw said if it's Blake's pouch cyst, that's an obstructive feature of hydrocephalus, and that an ETV would be a great treatment option. But if it's Dandy Walker variant, it would not be the best option, and that a shunt would be the best option. And, you know, as much as I want to try the ETV, if I know it's not going to work, why am I going to put my kid through back-to-back brain surgeries automatically? You know, so that's hearing that Dr. Worf said that he wasn't sure which one it is. They're very similar, but he believed that an endoscopic third ventriculostomy, or an ETV, with a cord plexus cauterization, which is a surgical specialty he is amazing at, and he actually invented combining the two to make one surgery. So he recommended that, and saying that it has a 70% chance of treatment success in Dandy Walker or Blake's pouch cyst children. And hearing that made us so much more confident. You know, I know, because hydrocephalus is a less than 1% chance, like it's like a 0.05% chance or something very, very small. I can't believe I don't remember the numbers, but, you know, chance that your child will have congenital hydrocephalus. So I think the exact number is 1 in 2,000. So I know that my kid can be that small percentage, and I know that this is not for sure, but I feel that if we are going to give it a try, that this person, Dr. Worf, is the man that needs to be the one caring for my child. Also, he does that extra component, the CPC, which is a cord plexus cauterization, where they do the endoscopic third ventriculostomy, which is where they drill a hole in Roman's skull and they put a camera instrument, like if anyone's heard of endoscopic procedures before, so laparoscopic procedures, it's very similar. They guide that camera deep into Roman's brain in the very middle where the third ventricle is. They put a hole on the floor of the third ventricle, and like a water balloon, they hope that it drains and alleviates that extra pressure. Then Dr. Worf goes a step further and goes a little deeper in the brain, and he takes the cord plexus and cauterizes it, and puts this little wire tool in the brain and cauterizes it, hoping that it kind of tells the cord plexus, which is responsible for telling your body make more cerebrospinal fluid, to stop, don't make as much, like give us a chance to catch up on what we need to. And the combination of these two in children under 2 years old has been very successful. So we just feel like this is who we need to be in the hands of. We've prayed about it, and Paul and I both have had, like very specific religious experiences that felt that this is the answer. We've been very fortunate for the neurosurgeons that we have seen, but when you have 3 doctors telling you 3 different things, it's really scary, and we just felt like we needed, like something was missing, and now we feel like we have that piece. So I just wanted to share a little bit about Dr. Worf and how he created the endoscopic third ventriculostomy with cord plexus cauterization. He was on a medical mission trip in Africa, and he was treating patients in this high hydrocephalus population with shunts. And these patients would come in with days length of travel to get to the nearest hospital. Resources, shunts aren't always available in Africa anyways. So he would put the shunt in, and knowing that 50% of shunts fail in the first 2 years, that this child would go home, the shunt would fail at some point in the first 2 years of the life of the shunt, and the patient would die before they were able to get to a hospital, because a shunt failure, like I think I just said, is a life-threatening emergency, and you don't have any other option when you're out, in the middle of nowhere with no other hospitals. So he felt, was I really doing justice for my patients? Like, was I really helping them? He felt like he had to do more. So he decided that he was going to create this procedure and combine the two. And the crazy part about it too is he trained at UH, and he went to Case for medical school. So he is not a Cleveland native, but he has Cleveland blood in him, and it just, like, all of the stars are truly aligning in this man and in his values and beliefs and ethics and experience. So we are very hopeful, and we will be traveling to Boston, and Roman will have surgery next week on Tuesday, and we are just praying for this to be a successful treatment, that he's one of those 70% patients, that he doesn't have complications from surgery, and he has a speedy recovery. And I guess I'll stick to the update, but I do want to make sure that you guys know how appreciative we are already for the amount of prayers that have come in. But so Roman, like, how is he doing, right? I am like on a roller coaster. I have good days, I have bad days. I'm emotional sometimes and think, like, why us, or why my son? And other days I'm like, I'm strong. I was given to this for a reason. My son was given this for a reason, and I truly do believe that. And I hope that we find out that reason and we use it to change lives and then help improve other people's lives. Because I am so surprised in the things that I'm learning about hydrocephalus. So Roman is doing amazing. He is so happy and so smiley, He's hitting all of his milestones. We're working in physical therapy. He knocked occupational therapy out of the water. He's right where he needs to be, but he is in physical therapy weekly, and he does have some low muscle tone. He has a weak left leg that we were just fitted for braces today. They took casts, and it'll take a few weeks for those to come, and that's to help tell and train his muscles what to do, because they're not doing exactly what they need to do. And but he is loving life, and that's so much more than I can ask for. So I'm really happy, and he gives me strength all the time. The other thing is he was diagnosed with a heart murmur, so I had our 12-month appointment. We thought we were going to get in and out. He's been examined head to toe, and our wonderful pediatrician, she's like, I think I hear a heart murmur. And she's like, yep, I do. But it sounds very benign. And normally I would just follow this, because it's usually just because of like noisy plumbing. It's normal plumbing, but it's tings and tangs, and it means nothing. But because of surgery, let's get him to a cardiologist. We went to a cardiologist. So we've been really busy with appointments, and I bring that up to share just kind of what people deal with when you get a hydrocephalus diagnosis, and that it's not just like a surgery or a shunt or a procedure. Like it's a neurological condition, and it affects the entire body, and it can be mild to much more severe. But even just with what we're dealing with, it's a lot. And also just to share, because I feel like I've been a little absent, we have had so much support, so many messages. I read every single one of them, and there are many days that I go back and look at these messages, and it gives me strength. We feel uplifted in prayer, and in your thoughts, and I just feel so like strong because of the support that we have, and Paul does too. We're truly amazed, and we feel blessed for every single person in our life. But I've been bad at getting back to people and things like that, or I forget. And we used to we still belong to these mothers clubs, and we had these amazing play dates. I was just getting to know some new friends, and some of my other mom friends. We would get together, and Roman loves their other children. He's so social, and like sometimes I just won't even text back, because we'll be in so many appointments, or we'll get like more bad news, or we need to schedule another appointment. It just throws me off, and I just completely forget. So I apologize, but I want everyone to know how much it means to us, and that we have received every single thing, message, note, and if it's whether you're telling me a simple sentence on Facebook that your family's praying to us, or that we're in your thoughts and you're thinking of us if we need anything, to actually seeing you in person, we are so appreciative, and we are so fortunate for the support system. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to the other parents that have reached out to me privately, whose children have been going through things that are similar, or having their own illness and struggles that I did not even know that you were carrying, or that I did. And you took the time out of your day, the time away from your family and your situation, to empathize with us. It really did strengthen us, and I know that we're in this together, and that's why I do want to share and open myself up. And September is National Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. So my last thing I'll say, and if anyone has questions, we are an open book, and we are happy to discuss anything, whether it's about Roman or hydrocephalus, or being a parent, and how you stay strong through all of this. Please don't hesitate to comment, send me an Instagram or Facebook message. I'd be happy to connect. Or if you just want a friend, anyone else needs reciprocal prayers, please let me know. I should be on my hands and feet 24 hours a day, just repaying you guys back in the amount of prayers that we have received. So thank you. And, please, if you do pray, please continue to pray for our family. I feel that Paul and I are in a good spot, and that we've made the decisions that we need to make. Just please pray for Roman's success in the surgery, and the medical care team that's going to be caring for him, that he is, having a high success rate, and that he's comfortable, and this is healing for him that we've been praying for. Thank you. I actually hear Roman crying. So I'm gonna go get him before I say goodbye because I do want you guys to see him and see how happy he is. But he just woke up from a nap and he is crying. So we'll see how happy he is. So hold on 1 second. Roman, say hi. Say hi. Say hi, everyone. Wave.